Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. Our guest today is Dom Williams, and this is Smart Business Moves.
Hello.
Dom, how are you?
I'm doing well, just hanging out.
This is awesome. We haven't done this in a couple of years. I went back and checked. It's been like 2 years since you've been a guest. I don't know what the heck happened. Um,
It's been
well,
2 years.
yeah, it's been a little over 2 years. Now, we used to do it 5 days a week, so it was a tighter rotation, but I'm glad you're here. This is really cool. We're going to be talking about acquisitions and diversification, something that any business owner, regardless of what industry you're in,
Mhm.
needs to throw in the consideration side.
Yeah.
Um, Before we get started, though, I am going to share a live event that we got coming up here in just about a month. It's crazy how this is happening. I don't know where the time is going. Um, Dom, you've done Made Central Academy before, haven't you?
I have. I've been to Made Central Live in Charleston,
Yeah.
and it was great. Lots of, and that was. I think that was the first one that I went to. So
Wow, that was a few years ago because we've done this. I think this is like the 10th or 11th time, maybe the 12th time we've done
yeah,
this.
yeah.
That's
So
right.
so this was. I wanted. I think this was the first one. This it was also like a dual event. Liz had something like
Mhm.
the days after. But I remember because I brought at the time my op manager Tyler. He's now executive vice president, and we learned a ton. We walked away with spreadsheets. We walked away with what we needed to do to keep scaling our business, and then we also got more insight on Made Central.
Well, we've switched it up a little bit. We've turned this into a 3-day event.
Nice.
And what we've done is we've set up a test environment that everybody who's there has a mirror image of their instance in Made Central in a test environment. So we're able to demonstrate techniques, and everybody's able to log in and do it in their something that looks like their version of Made Central, but it's not messing up anything in production.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing, same thing with the action plan at the end and core KPIs, and how what we need to do to make the green numbers go up and the red numbers go down. But the hands-on and the test environments really made it a unique event. Gotten a lot of good feedback on that. We're doing it at the end of September, September 25 through 27. If you're a Made Central partner, there's a ton of reasons you could go. I promise you, you're going to have a deeper understanding of how Made Central works. You'll understand how to use Made Central, not only to just how to do the basic functions, but how to use it to grow and scale your business. And you'll leave with an action plan where you'll have certain core KPIs that we will have identified that would create the most value for your business. And you'll know the things that you need to do in Made Central and in your business in general to drive those numbers the way that you want them to go.
Tom, who's the host of this?
We're doing this in Charleston, so it's going to be at our office in Castle Keepers.
Well, but no, who's running the actual event? Like who's going to be talking most of the time?
Oh, it's going to be it's a good question. It's going to be the Made Central team. I'll be part of it. Aja is going to be there. Troy will be part of this, and Alvin, who basically he's actually moved over to the sales team. He's doing a great job there, but he's been with the product for a few years. He did a event a couple of weeks ago up in Detroit on artificial intelligence, actually. So
Do
it'll be
you
the
guys
four of
still
us.
do the breakout sessions?
No, we don't do the breakout sessions anymore. We're keeping it all in one room. It makes it a tighter event, and everybody's on the same on the same page.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Because we've been moving it around some too. We've done this on the road a few times. We
I
done it
saw
up
that.
in
I've seen that.
yeah, and it's just easier to manage keeping everybody in one place. And by doing the test environment, it really makes it more meaningful at that point. With all the hands-on stuff we're doing, there just isn't even with the 3-day event, there still isn't a lot of time for breakout.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want more information on that, if you want to sign up, it's madecentral.academy. And it will sell out. So if you're interested in doing it, I would go ahead and go to madecentral.academy and sign up. And even if you're not a Made Central partner, by the way, we have a lot of people that just want to know more about Made Central, not just Made Central, but how core KPIs work and how to get predictable outcomes in your business. Got to warn you though, if you're not a Made Central partner, by the end of it, the odds are pretty good you're going to want to be. But anybody's welcome.
Yeah.
If you're not a partner, we have a dummy, a test site, a test environment with test data in it, so everybody can do the hands-on, even if you're not a partner.
Yeah, I remember when I participated, there were people in there that weren't they all weren't Made Central users, but they still walked away with a ton of value, just because, I mean, a lot of the information that you guys are giving out is more related to our industry, not technically Made Central. You know, it's just so happens that Made Central is industry specific. So if you're using that, it just adds a huge bonus to it, right? So
Yeah, we all start out in the business where, it's pretty obvious. We need to find homes to clean and people to clean them. And, then it gets a little more complicated. We kind of, we don't spend any time talking about that, really, not very much time. Most of the time we spend is, what do you do once you get to that point? How do you get better pricing? How do you lower your cost of goods sold? How do you get better profit margins? And what is all the data? Because we give you a ton of data. And how do you use all this data to make better management decisions to get better outcomes? And by the time it's over, you'll leave with a strategy where you can be more profitable. Sometimes you're not even cleaning as many homes. You're going to raise prices knowing you're going to lose some, but that's okay because you'll be making so much more off the ones that you are cleaning.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the end of September. So, wow. Don, could we just take a few minutes and just share with our audience kind of your journey? I mean, I'm not even sure exactly where you started your entrepreneurial career, because I know that you've got a lot of different things going on. You've done a lot of things. Did you start with a cleaning business?
So no. So, I mean, I've been doing business since I was 12 years old. You know, we chuckle at that, but truly I have, whether that was my lawn company, whether it was my candy business, my favorite business that I had was a candy business. I was in middle school and high school. And what I would do is I would go to Sam's Club. I would go to, we have a thing called Gordon's Food Services here, better known as GFS. And I would buy wholesale candy. And I would just pretty much have like an ongoing fundraiser all year round. That's the way I described it.
Okay.
But the part that I did where I started to feel like, I transformed it to quote unquote a business was when I started to get, I think I had at one point 15 different people selling the candy on my behalf. Okay. So I had about 5 or 6 of them in my school district. And then I had some other people because I grew up in a county school. And then I had some that were in the in city school selling some as well. And then I had a few other ones out at another county school. So I had people all over the city of Kokomo selling these candy bars. And, it wasn't huge margins, but you talk about recruiting at its finest. That was some heavy lifting recruiting, because you had to sell someone on selling $1 candy bar that I probably paid, I want to say 40 to 50 cents for. So we only had about 50-cent margin to deal with. Right.
Yeah.
And I think I told them, I think I sold them on anywhere from 10 or 20 cents per candy bar. So there wasn't a lot of money to be made there. But growing up, not happy, if they didn't have a job, most of them didn't have a job. If they made 10 or 20 bucks a week from me at the end of the week, they were happy. So,
and how old were you?
So during that time, I mean, that was middle school, high school. So that was anywhere from 15, 16, 17. I did that all the way up until right before my senior year.
Wow, that's awesome. So would you like provide the candy bars
Yeah.
on consignment, or did they pay you like?
No. So I would front them the candy. I would trust that they would, pay me the money, not eat the candy. We'd
Uh,
have a log that we would fill out when I provided them with the candy, right? And then on Fridays would be payday, re-up day. We'd go through the reports and everything. I did all this stuff out of my locker. I mean,
okay.
literally. I mean, only time I didn't do it out of my locker is when I had to go to the other schools and meet with the students from there. So I just met them at their house and whatnot. But ultimately, that's how it worked. My mom was a huge supporter. She always took me to GFS and Sam's, and we worked at it, and I worked at it.
Okay. So that was kind of the high school gig. Heard
That was
something
a high
about
school
long.
gig. I also had a job all the way during high school. I worked at my first job was Culver's. I was it was kind of like a host, but like a bus boy. I was the one that cleaned off the tables, but also ran the food. And that lasted probably for about 3 weeks. And then they tried to have me go out and pull weeds, and I didn't like that.
Hmm.
And that's when I knew even more, like, I can't be working for anybody because,
Right.
you told me my job description was this. And now, being 31 years old, I understand and realize that, your job description is whatever needs to be done in this company.
Every job description has that last thing at the bottom that
It does.
says all other duties as assigned.
Yeah. And, I make sure that's in my job description. So I've learned a lot. And then I worked at so I pretty much worked at Kroger though for the whole time that I was in high school. I worked there for about 3 years, learned a ton of practices, learned a ton of things that I even implement in my business today. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So that took you, into school. What was your first real business?
So my first real business after that at 18 in high school, I'm still in high school. The first business that I'll say that I registered an LLC for, right, was a clothing line. It was called Royalty Clothing. And we would make, really nice clothing and, sell it. And we had a website and stuff like that. So it was a clothing line that lasted for all of a year. I hated that business. I was like, man, I'm going to have to sell millions of shirts to really, really be at this. And I didn't want to do product. So after that, I shut that down. And then that's when I got into the cleaning business. And that's when I really started studying, like, this is what I'm going to do.
Okay. So how long ago was that?
So that was in 2011.
Okay.
So 13 years.
And I know you currently do residential and commercial. Your first cleaning business, what were you doing?
So we started off doing residential cleaning. Also had a couple like small commercial accounts, very similar to how all of the maid services are. Everyone says they're going to do residential, but then they get these small little business accounts that they'll do because it just kind of makes sense. And that was the same track that I did. And then over time, I started to realize that, there's power in some of these commercial accounts and things like that. So, now the company is probably not probably 100% more commercial than it is residential. I would say it's on the spectrum of about 80% commercial, 20% residential at this time.
Wow.
When you factor in revenue.
Okay.
And employee count too. Most of our employees are commercial cleaners.
So home for you is Indiana Kokomo. What geographic area do you cover?
Yeah. So for commercial, we cover the whole state of Indiana. We have a very robust, unique recruiting process that we use. So we're able to recruit anywhere, and we're able to do it very quickly. And then we acquired a company back in February in the state of Michigan. So we cover the whole state of Michigan, and that company is specifically all commercial. So we cover the state of Indiana and commercial, Indiana and Michigan for commercial, and then just residential only for the state of Indiana. And that's very targeted towards certain counties, obviously, for residential.
Okay. But you cover a larger geographic area than just the city of Kokomo
Oh,
for
for sure.
residential. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, are you in Indianapolis?
So we do a little bit of Indianapolis, but we typically don't. We cover the outskirts of Indianapolis, like Hamilton County. So that's Noblesville, Carmel, Fishers, Indiana. So we cover those suburb areas morely.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't tapped so much in the Indianapolis, but I do have a lot of friends that own residential cleaning companies, really nice sized ones too, in Indy. So just haven't really took the time to tap into it. That's actually one of our goals. I was talking to Matt Ricketts, and he was like, come on down to Charleston. Let's talk about your residential division and let's get that built out better. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We should do that because we've been so focused on commercial, and I love it. I love the commercial division. But residential is how we got here, so can't neglect that. So yeah,
It's good steady income. You don't, you're not heavily weighted in any one account. Sometimes commercial, you can have a lot of revenue tied up in, one or two accounts that something happens to one of them that can be a bit stressful.
for sure.
But you do other things as well. Are you still in the, is it like soft drink business?
Yeah. So I've got a business called Lexi's Drink Barn. So I acquired that about it's probably been close to 3 years. We've got 2 locations right here in Kokomo, Indiana, and we sell soda fountains. We sell sweet teas, coffees, lattes, breadsticks. What I like to compare it to is we're a big concession stand. So it's drive-through only. It has one window on each side. It's drive-through only, open 7 days a week. We typically, 75% of the time, we can run it with one employee. It's a very good business. I love it still. It's a fun business. So yeah, still have it.
How did that happen? I mean, you were doing very well and running your cleaning business. You've done many things in the past. What were you thinking? I mean, it was probably a very smart move, obviously, but what was your thought process when you decided to do that?
So 2 things. So for me, like, I love business. I love entrepreneurship. I think I just have a passion for that. So it doesn't matter what business it is. I want to talk about it. I want to dissect it. I want to see how I can help. I want to see, how their processes are. Have you ever been to Disney, Tom?
Oh yeah.
And aren't you just fascinated by their processes?
Oh, it's engineered. Everything that they do has been thought out and well engineered.
Yeah. So I love the concept of that and always trying to figure out ways to improve. So that's one. But then 2, COVID happened.
Yeah.
COVID happened, and that was a red flag for everybody that wasn't, and I was a little bit diversified then because I had commercial. So we were still able to run our commercial division, right? But our residential division shut down. I didn't really own a lot of real estate then. But the point of the matter was COVID happened, and that was a thing that I was like, you know what? I've got to get diversified. I have to have other streams of income coming in to the Dom enterprise. So that was a business that was it was posted all during COVID, and no one can get the deal through. No one. I'm sure they probably had offers. I don't know if they did or not. I don't even remember. But either or, it didn't go through. And so I'm like, you know what? I kept thinking about it. I almost bought it 2 years before that, and then I pulled the trigger and bought it.
And it's worked out well. You've got 2 of them now?
There was 2 when I purchased it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It works out well. Yes. It cash flows.
Could you see doing more of those?
Yes. So I actually have a concept where we can do more. I actually have a concept where we can build them in these, those trailers. I forgot what they're called. They're like metal storage containers. They go in back of like semis type of thing.
Oh yeah, it's just they're shipping containers.
Yeah, shipping containers. So we have a concept where we want to build the stores ready to go because again, it's not bigger than one of those shipping containers, by the way. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a concept where we can build all of that in there pre-ready to go. And then if you want to buy one, Tom, we can just drop one off to you. And all you need to do is find the lot. But then Lexi's corporate owns that shipping container. So then if you decide you don't want to do it no more, if it doesn't work out, we'll come pick up the shipping container. We'll drop it off somewhere else. No big deal.
Liz is in the house.
Liz is at the Standard. I know that alley from anywhere.
I can't hear. I can't hear.
You can't hear.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, can you hear us?
Good to see you guys. I really wish I could hear.
Oh, my.
Can y'all hear me?
We can.
Yes.
That's a bummer.
Can you turn the volume up on your phone? No?
I don't know why I can't hear you.
It's that Android phone. That's why.
That's exactly what it is.
All right, y'all, just ignore me and continue on. Let me figure out if I can figure out my mess up here.
Okay. Keep working on it. You know, I'm down here, Charleston. We've got several ports here, and those containers just stack up all over the place because there's a lot more imports than there are exports.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get those containers for practically nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. What else you got going on?
So, like I mentioned, we acquired a commercial cleaning company back in February of this year. So really, the past couple months have been really getting that division stabilized.
In another state, in Michigan.
In another state, with about 100 employees. And so we're running into, you know, issues that we've never had before, right? You know, prior to, and not only did we acquire that business in February, my main core cleaning company doubled in size as well in that time frame, just because we have closed some. We in Q1 we focused a lot on our commercial division and we went crazy. So just between February and now, we doubled our employee size on the C&C side. And then we also acquired Axiom Services, which is the Michigan division, in February. So we literally went from having about 50 employees in January to now having 200 collectively.
Okay, you're a large employer.
That's what they're saying, and that's what this that's what this health insurance stuff is.
Yeah,
saying.
you got some new rules you have to follow.
We have new issues, and yes, we have new issues.
Well, that's a good problems to have, though.
It is. So, like one of the things that I'm leading and I'm spearheading and kind of building out is our HR team. You know, so we're building out a small team of 3 individuals that are going to handle all of our HR related issues. The cool thing about the commercial though is a lot of those people, you know, are going to be part-time individuals, right? So those aren't 200 full-time. I mean, right. I'm still over the threshold, don't get me wrong, but that's not 200 full-time people. But you know, it's still a person that we got to take care of, and we got to make sure they're well taken care of. So, hi Liz, are you back?
I can hear you guys now. Yay!
I can hear you. Yeah.
What was the problem?
I can't hear you like great, but I can hear you. I'm outside, so.
You know, we were talking. If you had an Apple phone, it would probably work better.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm getting an Apple phone. My son has talked me into getting one. So, all right. Next time I get a new phone. What are y'all talking about today?
We're talking about all kinds of. We're just going over Dom's resume in terms of all the businesses he's started and owns and runs. And we're not even done with that yet. We haven't even talked about Who Hire.
Oh yeah, Who Hire, that company.
That's not yours anymore, though.
Yeah. So Who Hire, I'm still a partner in the company, but I don't run it. I don't have any involvement in the sense of like the day-to-day or real decision making. I'm still a user, obviously, but last April I sold that company to perception predict. And they've just flipped it upside down and have really transformed it. I could not be more excited what they did with it and what they are constantly doing with it.
So, but you founded this. This was your creation.
Yeah. So when I had it, it was called Who Hire, but now it was called Hire Who. See, they got me trained well, don't they, Liz? It was called Hire Who, and basically we didn't own the .com. No one owned, like, the person that owned it wouldn't sell it or something weird. So Jonathan, the CEO, made the executive decision to say, hey, we're going to switch the name. We're just going to flip it upside down, and we're going to make this cool little owl with a hat on it. So that's what it is.
It worked. I like the cute little owl. I was next to those guys at the convention, and they're a fun group of people.
Yeah, and he's Jonathan. I mean, I got to give him kudos. He's really intelligent when it comes to, like, dealing with AI. He actually owned a cleaning service before too, and had it exit at a very young age. I want to say he was in his 20s when he did that. He built a carpet cleaning company and sold it at a young age. I think he told me he spent all his money too during that time. But either or, very inspirational. Couldn't be more happy with the team and what they're doing with it, and what they're growing it to become.
Awesome.
Yeah, at convention, he had a magician with him, if I recall.
Yeah. Yeah. Stealing watches right and left.
Yeah, we gotta pick our game up, Liz.
I'm not stealing any watches, Tom. That's your game.
So Liz, I'm glad you could finally make it a little bit late, but well, that's kind of the way it goes.
How I am.
Yeah.
Were you on time today, Tom? Since I wasn't here to slow you down.
We were talking about this. Is like, Dom, Liz isn't here, so we have the opportunity to start on time today.
There's no way you were on time. I do not believe it.
Swear to God.
Swear. Who's on time?
You're going to pay for that, Tom.
No,
You're
we
going to
did.
pay.
We did. So why are you in a back alley, Liz? I'm afraid to ask.
So I am at the huge convention in Nashville, and this is the VIP event. We are at the Standard. It's a really nice steakhouse.
It's very
nice. Yeah, very nice. And they're all in there, and they're doing a tour. So I'm out here with y'all.
Now, Liz, you've been there before, right?
I have not.
Oh, okay. You haven't did the tour. You should go do the tour. It's pretty cool.
Really? So they have a ton of tour buses here. I don't know when I'm going to go on a tour. I mean, you know how these events
you mean
are.
like the tour in Nashville or the tour of the Standard?
Oh, yeah. The tour of the Standard. That's going on right now.
Oh, yeah. No, that is cool. That is cool. The tour of the Standard's really cool.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I'm missing it so that I can talk with you, Dom. So come on, you're going to have to bring it even better.
Talking to Dom's pretty cool too. So you can't lose.
Yeah, there you go. Well, what was our topic today, y'all?
We're talking about diversification and acquisitions.
Oh, nice. People love to hear about that. Never hear enough.
Awesome. And Dom's sharing he's gone from like 50 employees to 200 employees, just here in 2024?
Correct. So in January, that's how many I had. We doubled our main group company, and then we acquired another company in Michigan. So that's kind of where we're at with the cleaning company. Most of those people, like I said, a lot of them are part-time commercial cleaning techs. It's very easy to get to that number, closing large accounts and having 10 people at one job site here, 5 at another. But it's still a person we got to take care of.
Yeah.
And he's doing the Lexi's Drink Bar, and he's partners in Who Hire. We haven't even gotten to the real estate yet. And I see on your Facebook page, you're showing properties all the time. So what's going on in the real estate world?
So the real estate stuff is actually my favorite. That's one of those things where I just love the idea of putting deals together. going out, finding a good property, getting good tenants in there. But basically what my concept is, I take all of the cash flow that I make in my other businesses, and then I just stash it away in real estate. That's really, well, besides the fun stuff that I do. But as far as the responsible things that I do with my money, it's going back into apartments.
Okay.
Apartments specifically. So I want to be very clear. It's not just real estate. It's apartments.
I got to be honest, Don, when you said the fun stuff, my mind kind of shifted from real estate. Like I'm thinking, what's the fun stuff?
Oh, it's just
Tom. You like to golf.
Who, Tom does?
Tom likes to golf. That's his fun stuff.
Golf a little bit.
And fishing. You like to fish.
Fish a little
Guard
more.
on your boat.
Yeah. What's the fun stuff, Dom?
So, I mean, the fun stuff could just mean, buying things that you really don't need. That could be fun stuff, right? I mean, I could probably invest more money into real estate, but I like to do things for myself as well. That's why I do business, as to reap those benefits. But so that's one of the things I would say.
All right. So Dom, I know you like good clothes and you like nice watches. What's the last cool thing that you bought?
The last cool thing?
Yeah, fun thing.
This will be a fun project. So I bought a bar about a week and a half ago. So,
it's going to be a business, it's going
to be a business. But here's the thing, Liz, you'll like this. You'll be proud of me, Liz. It has an apartment on it. Okay,
I do like that.
So I justified it. So I justified it. I'm like, this would be a nice little lounge, But it has an apartment attached to it. That pretty much pays for all of the overhead of
That's very cool.
Stuff like that. So, and it was cheap. So that was one thing I bought. I
know Libby DeLucia, and she started her entrepreneurial career owning a martini bar.
Yeah, Libby has a long.
I forgot about that. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Right. We talked about that.
Also worked at
and she kind of got that out of her system. Before you go live with that, you might want to talk to her.
Yeah.
And she didn't have a lot of great things to say about owning a bar.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any great things. We're just going to try it out, Liz, and then, see where it goes. If not, we'll just rent the bar out.
Let somebody else worry about it.
It's weird, Dom. I think it's odd that when I ask you what's the fun thing, you still give me work stuff.
Is it work?
Yeah, kind of work. It's how you're making money.
But
unless you're going to just hang out at the bar all day long.
That's no.
That's what I'm saying.
Business is fun, right? I mean, I think entrepreneurs go through a phase where, they're working in their business, they're working on their business, they're scaling their business. And then at some point you start playing business, right? Okay. I think I'm at that stage now where I'm playing business in a lot of times. Now in my cleaning company today, I felt like I was working in it because there were some things that I've been doing with these 200 employees, but most days I feel like I'm playing business. So that's why that is fun to me. I would say, but something like doing or bought, Liz, you got to be specific here.
Okay. So you gave me bought and that didn't feed my soul there. So how about doing now?
Doing. I mean, I'm on a trip right now. I won't tell you where, but I'm on a trip. I'm on a trip right now.
Why won't you tell us where?
I'm a very private person, and this is very a public format.
You are. Oh my gosh. You crack me up with your private stuff.
But can you give us a hint?
I make some of my friends sign NDAs. I don't trust them to not tell my business.
No, this is so crazy, Tom. I was at a dinner with two of his good best friends. And they're like, yeah, we know nothing about him. Nothing. Like, what? They're like, yeah, he's one of our very best friends. He tells us nothing.
I tell them a lot.
So weird.
I tell them, you're talking about Drew and Megan. Or Marty. But I tell them a lot. It's just,
No, not according to them. No.
Yeah.
Not according to them.
Are you in the continental United States?
Yeah, at this moment I am.
But
I'll tell you where I'm at right now. Right now I'm in Miami.
Okay.
Oh, well, why was it so hard to, like, do you think we're going to track you down?
Well, no.
Okay, everybody that's in Miami, let's go find Tom.
This will be easy. This will be easy. He's in Miami. Well,
I'll only be here for 24 more hours.
and then you're
Okay.
going to get on a cruise ship, and you're going to be no.
Oh, you're going on a cruise ship?
No.
He wouldn't tell you if he was. Tom, you just got too close. Like, oh, no. Not going on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
You could find him too easy. He said 24 hours, leaving out of Miami. He's not admitting to that.
Yeah.
All right. So, go ahead, Tom.
No, you got all of these things that you're doing and doing well. You know, what's the secret? I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, and I'm assuming you sleep a little bit. I mean, how do you have so many diverse business interests going on at the same time?
So a lot of the businesses, so like let's take Lexi's Drink Barn for an example. I've got a really good general manager who takes care of everything. The only thing she does not do is payroll. And I think my assistant does the payroll. She does. There's one girl that does payroll for all of the companies. So so one of the things I would say that I get benefit out of is all of the companies share certain key people. So, my assistant, she sits in the payroll seat. She's right next to me. So she's able to, tell me if there's any discrepancy. She's able to tell me what payroll revenue is. She does payroll for the cleaning companies, Lexi's, all of the contractors. She does all of that. The bookkeeper, whoever, does all the books and QuickBooks and whatnot, typically does the books for all of the companies. So we're able to share those benefits and share those people, as long as they're good, with all of the companies that I bring on.
Okay.
But as far as like my time, some days it is rough, but I will say just having those key leaders in place and delegating a lot, it works really, really well.
Well,
So,
tell us. Sorry, Tom, go ahead. I do have a question.
How do you get key leaders, I guess, is really the question I should be asking.
So, first of all, I'll say that's a constant struggle. It's not easy. I will not say it's easy. I mean, Liz, you've met Tyler before, right?
I love Tyler.
You met Tyler?
You
Tom,
met Tyler. He's the guy you brought to Charleston, right?
Yeah. So like, for instance, Tyler, I mean, I posted that job ad on Indeed. That was 3.5 years ago. He applied. He was probably like the second or third guy I interviewed. And I knew that, like, with a little bit of training, a little bit of like putting him around the right people, he was going to be stellar, and he is stellar. So for me, I can't tell you how I find him, Tom. I don't have any method for it, honestly. Okay. But I'll just tell you like what I truly look for. I'm looking for people that know that they don't understand everything, and they're honest with saying that, right? Because like, I mean, think about us three. We're always at conferences. We're always at events learning. Like, we're still learning. So they're honest about that. And then they have this drive to just wanting to be better than who they are today. And if they have those two things, that drive, and then they're just completely honest about, like, you know what? I don't know this. Then good. Let's figure it out together.
I definitely saw that in Tyler, right? Wanting to learn more, very driven to learn more, implement, and I'm very much like driven to do.
Yeah.
Like he had a bend toward action, more than just sitting and learning. A lot of people want to learn, but he definitely had the desire to do.
Yeah.
Or I'm guessing still does. But when I saw him, when I met him, I really enjoyed meeting him. He's awesome.
And then, if we switch gears to like my Lexi's Drink Barn. So the general manager there, she's worked in hospitality for years. She used to work in the bar business. So she understands like the drinks and the mixology stuff. But also the biggest thing about her is she really cares for people. So she has what I could do better at. Like she knows how to show more empathy and stuff to people that like I just don't have all the time, right? So she's really good at that, and in that type of business where you're dealing with people face to face every day, she's good at it. You know, she's dealing with a lot of employees that whether they're in college, they're in high school, or you know maybe they're a little bit older, like she just knows how to connect with them. And the other part of it, she wants to be better. She knows that she doesn't know it all. She flat out says like, hey, I don't know this. I need assistance. And she just has that drive to want to be better. And then we just figure it out together.
Oh yeah, very cool.
So
tell us, Dom. So today you said that sometimes it's hard. Some days are harder than others. And today you are working in your business.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what to do with these 200 employees. So can you get more specific? What were you doing? What were you actually doing that was in your business?
Yeah, this is a great question. This is how I'm going to relieve myself from today. So basically, for the commercial, so the biggest thing that I realized with merging these two companies together is we use Tom, you'll love this. We use a ton of technology in our companies, right? Have you guys ever made a list of all the tech that you use in your company? We have a long list. Yeah. It's actually bad, right? And here's the thing. It was worse before Made Central because Made Central consolidated about
a lot of it.
So like it was worse before then, but either or. So the company that we bought in Michigan was using a different software called I won't even give their name because I don't want to promote them. And what happened was 2 weeks ago, they had a cyber attack.
Ooh.
And here's what I mean by that. You could not pull timekeeping reports. They could not clock in.
Scary.
This software is also, most of the companies had their accounting on this software. So you were locked out of accounting, and this was going on for a week and a half.
Wow.
Payroll had to be ran. You know what we did? We had to estimate payroll for 100 employees about a month ago. Isn't that scary?
It just happened at my son's company. He works for Porsche, and they had this was across their entire system.
Yeah.
So they had thousands of employees, and they had to estimate. It's
scary. We still don't know how many people we overpaid. We know the ones we underpaid because they all reached out. But we don't know how many. We don't know how many we overpaid, right?
Yeah.
So they're still dealing with that issue. Like there's still gaps in the flow.
Dang.
So and on top of this, we had so we talk about hiring key executives and key leaders. You know, we had a HR person that we brought on 3 months ago, wasn't really meeting the mark. So we're going through transition of getting a different team. So just keep getting them up to speed. So today I was working in my business, Liz, just by trying to build out this HR team for C&C Cleaning Services, because someone, I don't even know who told me this. Some coach told me this. You know, you can't hire someone and expect them to bring the structure. So I got to build out some of the structure for it. I got to explain like what I'm looking for, help create that. And then I can maybe go out and hire that HR manager and director and say, okay, hey, here's 70% of the systems and the processes that I want you to follow, improve up on this. But what I did 3 months ago was I went out and hired an HR manager. I said, you know what? I don't really know a lot about this HR stuff. And quite honestly, I don't want to know a lot about it. But you said you're a good HR person. You got a degree in it. You claim you got background. Come on in here and build out my department. And it didn't work out well. So wasted thousands of dollars in 3 months. The time was worth more than anything. But so that's how I felt like I was working in the business today.
Okay.
Why didn't it work out with your HR person that you hired that had the experience, and what happened there?
So I would say a couple reasons. I would say we didn't have a structure for the division, for the department. I truly did expect, and I told her this in the interview. I'm like, listen, we don't have anything, you know, like in January, we were used to running payroll for about 50 employees in Gusto. We don't use Gusto no more. You know, we're using this way more robust software. So we didn't have structure in the sense of like, hey, when when this happens, what is our process? Here's the handbook. A handbook is important. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's much more important at 200 people.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
So those were questions. Those were the concerns. So there was just a lot that she had to tackle, and she didn't really know where to start first.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I feel now I'm getting back into it, and I'm gonna take the time to build, because I need it anyway in my business. And I want to understand it now. And then we're gonna go out and bring on maybe an HR leader to manage that. But honestly, Liz, we hired 2 VAs that have HR background, and we've accomplished more. I've accomplished more in the HR department this week with the 2 VAs than that person accomplished in the past 3 months.
Wow.
We have
building out processes.
Processes. I got this one girl. I told her, hey, this is what I wanted to do. 3 hours later, we hopped on a Google Meet, and she had the system and everything built. I mean, it's amazing.
Wow.
I'm like, it's crazy. And then even the employee handbook, she was working on the handbook for 3 months. I hired a consultant to do the handbook that specializes in handbooks. She was gonna charge me like $1,500. And I said, hey, here's our 2 handbooks that we have from both companies. Let's merge them. Let's change the things that we need to change. We had a call today about the first draft. We'll have the final draft by September 1. So it's just stuff like that. Like, you guys know how it is. We can just typically move faster than most.
Yeah, very nice.
So
beautiful.
Well, all right.
Some days are better than others, though. I mean, and the more balls you have in the air, I guess the more opportunity, the more victories. But at the same time, occasionally you got to deal with what we call the non-conforming issues too.
I've got a question for you guys, because we're talking about the working in and on your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say playing business is more working on your business. Let's call it that. Do you guys feel like some people go to the extreme of, because everyone always talks about, you don't need to be working in your business. You need to delegate, and you need to have a business where you can just put it on autopilot. Do you feel like some business owners go too far with that?
Too far too soon, especially. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Too far too soon. Yeah. Before the company actually has the structure to be able to manage itself, and then they just sort of check out. I've seen that a lot. Yeah. We've seen that a lot, Tom.
We make the difference between delegation and abdication, and there's too many times somebody just basically abdicates, and it's like, I hired somebody, they have a business card, says they're responsible for that, and they just walk away from it, and it's just a big gap, and it just doesn't happen.
So, Tom, that's what I was going to do with my HR department.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
That's what I was going to do with the HR department, and it took me 3 months was too long, honestly. But I know I needed someone in that seat, and but either or. I'm glad I didn't keep going with that route. So, but I agree with you guys. That's my input as well. And I also think businesses go in phases. You might be able to work on your business for 3 or 4 years straight, and something happens where you now got to get back in it for a period of time.
Well, it seems like it would make sense that if you're going from 50 employees to 200 employees, you're probably going to get pulled back in, because most likely, unless you plan that in that 7-month period of time, or I guess 8-month period of time to grow from 50 to 200, and you already had all those systems in place and you already had done all that, you're going to get yanked back in, because that's faster growth than you were probably anticipating. Yeah. So you're going to have to come in. You're going to have to do some work. Like you said, you're going to have to be the one that sets up that system. You had a faulty plan to get, hire the person that was going to do the whole thing.
We did plan on growing with the acquisition. We knew that that was going to be a project, right? Yeah. But I don't think we projected that we were also going to grow our current business double within the 6 months. We didn't plan that. I'll be honest with you. We didn't plan that. We just we changed something amazing about our commercial sales process January 1, and it works. So like if a customer calls us and we want them as a client, we go through the process, we're going to close them.
All right. You want to tell us what you do?
So one of the things that they're actually very simple fixes. So we learned this by acquiring the business. So what they do, they have like a proposal. I don't have one on me, but like the proposal is it's like a book. It's like a 30 or 50 page book proposal. And how we were sitting it before, we would, you call us out for a quote, we'd come out, we'd do a walkthrough, and then we would send you an email with the proposal. We don't do that anymore. We don't ever send the proposal no more. We have to come back out in person to do a presentation. And that presentation is about an hour long. Myself, Tyler shows up. Our account manager, Sarah, shows up. We're pretty, we're glossy when we show up. We're very dressed to impress. And they're like, oh my God.
You're good at that.
I can't believe you guys look like this and you guys are talking about scrubbing floors, right? So they're already amazed. And then we sit down. We make sure every decision maker's in. It's literally the sales process that we all know. We make sure every decision maker's in the room. We have a slideshow that matches the proposal. We go over every single thing, our safety protocol, our recruiting. Like they learn about who hire in the meeting. We tell them that Dom built this software that was proprietary that we now sell to the market, right?
Yeah.
That we recruit people and we do it seamlessly. So we just tell them all of that. And then my team does it. I don't even do it. I actually sit there until the last 10 minutes of the meeting. They actually start calling Tyler Dom because they think Tyler owns the company.
Right.
This has happened on numerous occasions. And then at the very end, I'll say, okay, I'll go ahead and take over and start talking about price. And then I literally go line for line with the contract and talk numbers. And then usually after that meeting, they're like, oh my God, we've never seen this before.
Do you do an open bid where you're actually showing them your cost and markup and everything?
So it depends. So in Michigan, where we have a lot of school corporations, legally they have to see some of those things. So when that is there, yes. But we added a sheet in our book. It's called I think it's called the transparency something. And we say like, look, we're planning on bringing 4 or 5 people in here, and here's what we're going to pay them, the average hourly that we're going to pay them. We don't promise them that, but we try to just give them a glimpse of that. Oh, here's the other thing that we did. We stopped selling 1-year agreements.
Oh.
Okay.
So we now sell 3-year contracts. And every year it increases.
Oh,
and you're able to demonstrate the value that your organization brings, and people, they probably see that as a value. I assume you present that in a way that you're able to take the capital investment, leverage it over 3 years. It's actually a better value for them if they do that.
So typically, Tom, here's what I tell them. I say, listen, guys, we know prices aren't going to go down anytime soon, right? And this process, you guys don't want to do this every year. You don't want to have to walk your facility, sit down every single year. So here's what we do. We give a 3-year agreement, and usually it's about 5 to 7% increase per year. We say, look, if cost of living goes up above this, you're locked in. You're winning more than we are. So we present it to them that way, and they understand that every year 5% is minute, right? So we do that. We lock them in for a 3-year contract, and that's where we go with it.
Interesting. Yeah, that I can see how that would work. And especially if you're giving them the locked in at 5%. Also, you're setting the idea that, listen, you don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. We're going to get into your building, and you're going to be happy. There's no reason for us to be doing anything different for the next 3 years.
Yep. Another thing, Tom, which we took this from you a little bit, from Made Central. What do you call your members?
Partners.
That's what we call our clients now. for the commercial division. So when they look at the proposal, it says partner proposal. It says janitorial partner proposal, something like that. We don't call them clients or customers or whatever. We teach them that and we say this throughout our whole process. We say, we want to be a partner with you on your facility. Okay. I'm telling you, we took a lot of that from Made Central in the way that you guys word it. So if we go back to where we started this time, Liz, because you weren't on here, you were late.
Yeah.
Remind you.
You know who I am.
We were talking about where I started and what my first job was and stuff like that. But I tell people all the time that I'm glad that I was an employee before I was like an entrepreneur, because all of those jobs that I worked at, it was, Verizon, Avis Car Rental, Kroger, I learned things from those companies and have actually applied those in my business today. So I love seeing stuff like what you do with Made Central, Liz, what you even do in real estate and your business coaching and stuff, and applying that to my business. So
yeah, I love that too. That just makes so much good sense to me, especially because the cleaning business is so fractured and does not have great systems in place. But it does. It's interesting that you're kind of going more old school. I mean, back in the day, that's how commercial bids were done with a big book. Tom, you remember that? And on
we specialized in that. We did some commercial work. We called it residential, but with property management groups and stuff like that. We had the thickest proposals.
Well, here's the thing: if you think about it, it makes sense for what we do with Made Service. Like, you send it over, you get there's a little bit of transactional there.
Yeah.
But if I want someone to pay me $50,000 a month for cleaning services, we need to be in a 2-hour meeting, and we're bringing lunch.
Yeah.
And we need all 10 decision makers in here. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, really big deal.
So like we started understanding, like, look, if we want $300,000, $400,000 a year contracts, we got to start treating them accordingly.
Yeah.
And we weren't.
So with all of the things that you're doing, I get a flavor though that, you've got the right people in place. A lot of these businesses, they don't run completely by themselves, but it gives you the opportunity to do a number of different things. And I understand that you're to the point now where you're going to be doing some coaching, some working with other business owners.
Correcto. So I actually am. So 2 things with that. So I am in the process of finalizing my certification for Conquer coaching.
Okay.
But I'll also be doing coaching on my own directly as well. And this will, and it's not necessarily for people that just own cleaning services, because again, business is business. Just like we talked about, you can transfer a lot of the strategies and practices across all industries. So where I really want to help people and what my superpower is in talking with people about acquisitions and looking at a business to say, okay, this business is cash flowing. Here's what you can do to it, right? To really, scale your company. My other superpower, I would say, besides the acquisitions, would be systems and processes. That's something that, obviously over the years we've become obsessed with. So, helping business owners really do that as well. I'm not a great startup person, really. I don't really have the patience for too much of that anymore. So we're going to see how this bar thing works out.
At the ripe old age of 31, you're not as patient as you used to be.
I'm not patient. Actually, I've never really been patient. My personality doesn't give patience.
Well, I dropped your email address in chat.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to reach out to you and hear more about how you can help them from a coaching standpoint, they just use that email.
Yep. Shoot me an email.
Cool.
I actually have 2 people right now off the top of my head that need to have a chat with you, need to sit down and talk with you. Yeah. So as soon as I get back from wherever I am.
You're in Nashville.
You're in Nashville.
Yeah. As soon as I get back from
You're
Nashville, I'm going to, that's right. I'm the standard. I will, I'll shoot you over a couple of names down. I have a couple of people that would be great to work with you.
So
Liz, I know you're not a drinker, but it is a cool place to go check out. There is a speakeasy right across the street. It's
I
a
hear
red door.
You could go.
I
You
hear
can go
it.
smoke a cigar over there.
No, you don't hear it because it's across the street to the diagonal. It looks like a red telephone booth.
Oh yeah, no, I don't see that.
You'll see it.
All right, I'll look. I hear music somewhere. It's probably somewhere close.
Go in
All
there
right.
and check it out. It's kind of cool.
Well, I wish we had another hour because I feel like we're just getting started, but we are at the top of the hour. I know it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like that for you, Liz, because you haven't been here that long, but it has been. It's been an hour. 'Cause we
Y'all,
started
you should be-
right at
you
the
should
top of
be
the hour.
thanking me for like coming in here. I'm leaving all of the people. I missed my tour just to come hang out with y'all. Come on now.
Liz,
It was
we
time well
appreciate
spent.
you showing up for us.
Yeah.
We really do.
I'm really glad I was able to make it. Really, I am.
Dom,
Thanks so
thank
much,
you.
Don.
Thank you, man. This was great. And I promise you we're not going to wait another 2 years to do this again.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years since Dom's been on the show.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I just saw him not that long ago, so it doesn't feel like that long.
I see Liz. I feel like I see Liz every 6 months or so.
I just saw you. Yeah. Okay. I need to hook up with you soon.
We're
All
going
right.
to go ahead and call it a wrap for
Bye,
today.
y'all.
We'll go back next Wednesday,
All right,
5
Liz.
o'clock Eastern. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.